Okay, welcome to Ferret64, everyone. I hope everyone's doing well. Thank you for coming to the episode. I need to take a swig. All right, it was a day today. Okay. Cheers, cheers, cheers all around. All right, why I was late. I had something in my mind all day that I wanted to do for this episode. And I came home, it was 3:40. I took the dog out real quickly, had to scold the kid for not putting his dog on a leash. And I ran inside and I made the thing I wanted to make, and it was rendering and publishing in Adobe, and I got it all together on here, and for some reason it wasn't closing properly. It closed, but in my task manager it was showing that I was still using like 100% of my disk space, which is why the stream was probably jittering and juddering while the intro was playing. But I killed it, and I think everything's okay. It's okay. All right, seems okay now. How's everyone doing today? Oh my gosh, how is everyone doing today? It's a jam-packed day, I tell you what. Let's get some music thumping in the background so I'm not just talking to myself. Rock of Ages. Not like that. We need something classy. Something classy, I tell you what. Okay. Woo. Blue. Abadiba die. All right. I hope everyone's doing well. Thank you for joining the stream. I really appreciate it. As you all know, welcome Chrono Dave and GreedyWaffles. Thank you for joining. I forgot to turn off a few of the rewards that you can choose. So if you could just not choose the rewards, I'd appreciate it, because I'm not going to stop the stream to read a riddle or anything like that. I apologize. I forgot to turn them off before the stream started, and now I don't think you can turn them off during the stream, so whatever. Anyways, if you want to, new episode of YemmytheFerret up now on Spotify and all the other platforms that you can possibly think of. I complain a lot about YouTube, so make sure you check that out. What else? New clip edit is out now on the channel for half of my streams of Vampire, so if you want to, you can check that out as well. New episode of Film Freaks this Friday. We talk about that oh-so-lovable Tom Cruise and his movie Mission Impossible with special guest Callus from Just Callus. So there we go. All right. Boom. I think we're ready to start. We got the music thumping, right? It's on a loop. Let's turn it up just a smidge in my ears and in yours. Anyways, let's start off today, guys. It's been quite a day. I listened to the new Tool album today as per Callus's request, and it was... I'll talk about it in YemmytheFerret. But yeah, we're here. We're here, and we're pretty much live. Are we alive? Yes, we are alive. All right. Yes. So, let's go ahead and get into it. What's the first segment, guys? As you know, it's this. What has Yummy been playing this past week? Alright, so what have I been playing this past week? What was that noise? That was weird. What have I been playing this past week? Well, I'll tell you guys. I played a lot of TemTem yesterday, and if you don't know what that is, TemTem is the new game by an indie developer, which I cannot remember right now. Let's put up some gameplay. What's the developer? I forget what the developer is, and I'm too afraid to open up my Steam because it might kill me. Let's see if it says right here. I don't know. Anyways, TemTem. That's right, TemTem. Woo! TemTem is a pretty fun game. It is actually a pretty fun game. TemTem... What the hell is that? TemTem is like Pokemon, except I think it's better. I think it's better, honestly. Oh, this guy's just booping around. So it has a really nice art style to it, I think, and I've been really enjoying the combat in the game. there is, I mean, it's obviously, inspired by Pokemon, so you will see a lot of like similar Pokemon things, especially in the gameplay that I'll show. So you have basic attacks that cost what is that? Oh, it takes stamina. Stamina. That's the word I'm looking for. Stamina to use, and each move has kind of like there's up to 4 moves you can equip at a time, and each one has a different range of skill stamina that needs to be used, which makes the gameplay a little bit different than Pokemon. So you have options to rest your Pokemon, switch out your TemTem. You have options to switch out your TemTem, rest your TemTem, heal your TemTem, wake up your TemTem, stuff like that. So there's a lot of different gameplay elements in this game, but they're not all like similar to Pokemon. And I've played for about 2 to 3 hours now, and it's actually been a really, really enjoyable game. I'll say it, I'm enjoying it more than Sword and Shield right now. The animations, the characters, the story so far has actually been a lot better than that game. And even though you don't have TemTem walking around like in Pokemon Sword and Shield, I think that the old style, surprise, you're getting attacked by a TemTem is still the best way to do it. And you do still have encounters with people as well, where if you walk past them, they'll be like, oh, hey, I want to fight you. There's a little bit more story and backstory behind the characters, but other than that, I mean, it's just the same as Pokemon. In this game, there's a professor, as you see on the screen. There is your rival as well, who you see on the screen as well. And he kind of follows you around and makes a nuisance of himself. Other things, I really like the design of the TemTem. I think I already said it, but I really like the style that this game's going for. It's not overly anime, and it's just kiddie enough that it looks kind of fun. And I really like the fact that you can actually co-op with people in this game. You can have them join your party. You can fight side by side, just like this guy is doing right now. I will say this, when TemTem first booted up, of course, there was a lot of problems with the game, but so far I haven't really felt any problems. I evolved one of my TemTem, and it stayed evolved, whereas I was watching a Vivid Chim's Twitch stream of this game, and his TemTem de-evolved after he, healed or something like that. That didn't happen to me, luckily, knock on wood. But I haven't really felt any of the problems with the game that people have been having, and I think that's because they've had a regimented updates for the game. They've really updated the game really quickly and really fast, and they've been communicating with people as well who have been playing the game and since the beginning. So just on the 28th, they released the patch 0.5.8, which fixed issues with Tems not wanting to be released. They also had a full update. Let me get to that here. Okay, so here it is. So they improved textures for Barnshee, Orfel. TemTem cries will now only sound when entering the details screen and won't sound when changing between different TemTem. Characters can be reset from the lobby without going into the game. So they're fixing things through the game as well, along with improving things. So they fixed strange cases where users could get stuck on Max's first battle. Fixed player is busy appearing instead of player is not near enough to create a co-op party error. Fixed an error causing players appearing without any cosmetics. Fixed screen flashes not rendering in full screen while playing on 1200p resolution. Fixed incorrect minimap, closing the game between transitions, blah blah blah. Fixed cases where players could get stuck. Fixed places with, just a bunch of fixes, and they're putting out a lot of hot fixes to the game. They've been talking with people online and taking people's recommendations and stuff like that. I mean, here's them being funny, being cheeky buggers. It's stuff like that. And as the game goes on, they're going to be adding more content. And I think I was talking to someone about this, or maybe I was just thinking in my head, hey, Shinobi Nando, thank you for joining the stream. How you doing today? We're just talking about TemTem right now. As I was thinking in my head, you can see a very small portion of the map when you play the game right now. And there are already places that I've found where, you know, you can't go through because it's a work in progress. But when you zoom out of that map, it's huge. Like, we're in such a small area right now. I think people have been getting to like 25% of the map filled or something like that, and there's still areas you can't get to right now because it's a work in progress. Now, should they have waited until they had more of the game finished? Maybe, but to me, it seems like the game is released and it's playable. Things are working. The online is actually working, and I haven't really felt any problems with it through my 3 to 4 hours of playing the game. I'm really, really, really enjoying it. And I've only played a few hours. I mean, I think that's a testament to how good the game is. I wouldn't even have thought of buying this game if I hadn't watched hours and hours of people playing it, people reviewing it, stuff like that, saying all their problems that they're having. And really, I think that the developers have been doing a great job of getting this game on its feet, letting it kind of be put into the wild. Is it a little pricey? Yes, but at this point, I think that the price tag is actually not bad. $35 for this game, especially with how much is going to come to this game in the future and the near future. I think that's a really good deal. If you're waiting, I understand. It's still early access, as you guys know, but I think that it's a really solid game so far. And yeah, there might be grindy parts to it, getting the leveling up your TemTem and stuff like that. But I mean, that's just how RPGs work. I think that any gripes that I had with this game were really not that big. I think that there isn't a big enough distinction between male and female in the game, especially with the facial features, because when I originally started up the game and made a character, I had rosy red cheeks and eyeliner, and I didn't notice that when I was in the character creation screen, so I had to restart and start over because I didn't want that. I'm not against I'm not phobic about anything, but me personally, I'm playing the game as myself, and I am male. Has anyone in the chat played this game yet? It's really fun. If you have any opinions on it, I'd like to know your opinions on the game. Like I said, it's been a fun time. It's been a grand old time, and I mean, I just like, I haven't really played a Pokemon game in a long time. Like, I threw Sword and Shield in and played a little bit of it, and was like, well, I was like really kind of put off by it. But you can even see in this game, when characters attack, they attack. When they get damaged, they get damaged. When they get buffed, they get buffed. In the newest Sword and Shield game, it seems like they're just stiff figures. These ones actually look lively. They actually, like, things actually happen. And you can say, oh, it's just a clone, but really, I don't think it's as cloney as people are putting it out to be, because it is really its own thing. Even though it takes a lot from the Pokemon series, I can see this game becoming a cult classic or even a mainstream classic very, very soon in the near future, when they finally release it to all systems and have it get out of early access. Okay, so that's all I wanted to say about TemTem. I will probably have more to say about it in the near future. But let's move on to a different game. And this game is called, oh, what do you know? It's Civilization 6. Civilization 6. Civ 6 gameplay, just so we can have something in the background. As the chaotic Punisher knows, I haven't played a lot of Civ 6. I actually have been really enjoying the Civ 5, and I really don't feel the need to come back to this game when Civilization 5 is still the better of the games. So I was talked into getting the Rise and Fall expansion pass for Civilization 6, and it's not like I was like forced into it or anything like that. It was only like $10, and I was like, I might as well get it. The other one, which is called Gathering Storm, is still brand freaking new, so it wasn't off enough for me to get it, but I will end up getting that eventually to see how it changes the game. But the Rise and Fall expansion for Civ 6 doesn't really seem to do as much as I would want it to do. Like, they added the governors, which you can put in your cities to boost specific things, but it just doesn't seem to have as much of an impact as I was hoping it would. When Civilization 5 came out with the Gods and Kings DLC and the what is it called? Industrial Revolution, whatever that one was called, the newest one was called, it changed the game. added trading, added faith, added new ways to win, added new civilizations, etc., etc., etc. This game, yeah, it adds some new civilizations, adds a wonder or two, but really the gameplay is overall not affected. And that's one of the things that I don't like, because I don't really enjoy the base version of Civilization 6. I could go back and play the vanilla version of Civilization 5, no problem. I love Civilization 5. It is one of my favorite games of all times, because I don't have to play the DLC. If someone doesn't have the DLC, I go, that's fine. It's a little bit tougher to take care of barbarians, but other than that, it's still an amazing game. And the Gods and Kings expansion pass, yeah, it helps with the different fixes in the game, like the barbarians and stuff like that, but it really adds a whole new layer. And then you get to the last DLC in it, which I wasn't like a super fan of. Most of the time when I play Civilization 5, I go back to Gods and Kings, but the newest expansion pass is still really good. It's still amazing. This game, though, I can't say the same thing for this DLC so far. I just, like, I've been wanting more out of it. The base price for the DLC is like $30, but what does it really do? It adds a few civilizations, but not enough, and it adds some different gameplay mechanics, but obviously it's less than all the other DLCs that they put out for other games. And I can't tell you right now to go out and purchase Civ 6 with the season pass, because right now it's not worth it to me. If I buy Gathering Storm in the near future, and it revamps everything like I would want it to, yeah, I'll recommend it for sure. But right now, as it is, Fall and Rise or whatever it's called, I just can't recommend that DLC, and I really can't recommend Civ 6. I mean, even to a hardcore Civilization player like myself, I have like 700 plus hours on Civ 5. I can't get into this one. I don't know. Like, I don't like 4 and I don't like 6, but I love 5. It hit a happy medium for me. And I know that's heresy, Yemmy. Well, whatever. It's my opinion. Fuck off. And then cue the music, right? But yeah, that's really all I have to say about Civ 6. So let's move on. The last game that I wanted to talk about is a funny little game that I've played this week. It's called Snaky Bus. And I've not played much of it, but it's It's an interesting little indie game where you play as a bus and you go around and you pick up people. Oh, stupid. You pick up people by going through the little areas on the ground that you can see. And then your bus gets full and you have to drop them off at the drop-off point. So it's kind of like that old Snake game where it's picking up things and snaking around, and your bus gets longer and longer the more people you pick up. But it's also not like the old Snake game, because if you hit your bus, it doesn't instantly, make you lose. You can jump in this game. You can wrap around and stuff like that. So it's not like as much of a Snake game, but it is kind of like a Snake game because you're still a slithering, sliding snake. It is more difficult to turn and stuff like that. And if you stop moving, the game will, of course, give you a game over if you stop moving. So if you get stuck or something like that. Really, I enjoyed the game. I think it's a little goofy, and because it's see, you can see how long his bus is getting there. It's one of those games that, like, if it's finished and it's okay, it just doesn't feel 100% though. I was playing the first level you can play, which is like you're a really small bus in a office space or something like that, or a room, and it was just kind of janky, kind of this and that, and as you can see right there, he just hit his own bus, and he was still able to continue on. But yeah, so what happened there to him, the jumping doesn't always work, things don't always work in the game, and if you stop moving, you get a game over. And I didn't really get to play much of it because I just kind of I got a little bored of it. I was a little frustrated by it at times. But for like 50 cents, it was a really well put together game. Most games that are like shovelware, you would call them, on like the WiiWare shop. This game is actually not too bad. And if it's on sale for like $1, I would give it a thumbs up. Go ahead and get this if it looks kind of interesting to you. If not, that's your own opinion. Can't really say otherwise. Okay. What else? I really haven't been playing much else this week. It's been a quick week for gaming for me. I haven't really played much Nioh or anything like that this week. I did get a lot farther in Trials Fusion, so that's good. I got past a whole bunch of levels, like it one-shotted them, and it was actually pretty crazy because usually I get stuck on levels, but I got gold medals, like boom, 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 and I was like, that's pretty cool. That's pretty neat. So yeah, I think that's about it. What have you guys been playing? Have you guys been playing anything fun this week? Dragon Ball Kakarot? Anything like that? Let me know. We can chat about that for a little bit as we prepare the next segment for the podcast. We do have a good amount of news to cover today. Let's see what we got. We got some I know we have some Nioh news. Oops, I accidentally closed out of that. I did not want to close out of that. We have some Nioh news, stuff like that. And I mean, there's a lot of other stuff too as well. So yeah, let's get started and talk about the news, guys. I think we can put a pause in the music for a second because we need to switch over to the news music. That's right, the Muse music. All right, so let me go ahead and switch that over. Whoa, wait, what happened? Why is the screen black? Now, come on. What's going on? Come on. Hello? Hello? Nothing. Wait, what's that? Is it? It can't be. Oh, man. It's GreedyWaffle! Yeah, boy. Yeah, boy. Yeah. You like that intro? I was working on it. That's what I was working on before the podcast-a-rooney started. I hope everyone enjoyed that. It was it was a quick little put-together type thing. Is GreedyWaffle there?
Yes, he is here, ready to go.
He's here, ready to go. How are you doing today, GreedyWaffle?
I am fantastic.
Did you like my intro for you? I put a lot of work into it.
I did. I like the salad, the lettuce, and the Lombardi trophy.
So, if everyone, well, introduce yourself, Greedy, because some people might not know you.
Well, I am Yemmy's friend. I don't do YouTube or anything, or Twitch. I love football, American football to be precise. And yeah, I don't know. Don't know what else to say.
Well, Nick is our resident NFL expert, right?
Yes.
He came on to the podcast a few weeks ago for YemmyCast, and we talked about our predictions for the playoffs. And now the playoffs are all over, right? And now we're getting ready for the Super Bowl this weekend. That's right, the NFL Super Bowl. I know everyone's like, yeah, Yemmy, this isn't video game news, you noob. It's important news, and also Madden is a video game, so it all ties together. Is it really a video game though? I don't know.
No.
But anyways, I wanted to get Greedy on here to do our Super Bowl predictions and also talk about some playoff games that we really, really enjoyed. As I said, we're in the sports room right now, guys, so it's all sports talk all the time, and we gotta drink brewskis with the bros and talk about Peyton Manning and how funny he is. Right?
And his big forehead.
Yeah, his big forehead. Slap that bitch. Anyways, so I thought we might as well start with our top two. Each of us will pick two playoff games that we really, really liked. And we'll talk about them for a little bit. And then we'll get into our Super Bowl predictions, which is the 49ers versus the Chiefs. Nick, why don't you choose first? Which playoff game tickled your pickle?
Actually, my first pickle is from the first week of the playoff rounds. Is the AFC wildcard round. It was Houston, Texas against the Buffalo Bills, and this game went into overtime.
A lot of the playoff games went into overtime, crazily enough.
Only two.
Only two? Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. Well, it was during the wild card weekend, so You know.
Yeah.
uh, I agree. This game was a really good game, a very competitive game for both teams. But as I predicted, Josh Allen fumbled the ball to pretty much end the game. Pretty much. Was I
Yeah.
right or was I right?
You were right on that one.
So what stuck? Why did this game tickle your pickle so much?
Because I mean, it was too like I thought the Bills, the way the Bills were playing, I thought they were gonna, just come out and destroy Texas. And you know me how I've been hating on Houston all year because Deshaun Watson kind of screwed me in fantasy a couple times this year. uh, but I thought Buffalo Bills were gonna come out and just guns blazing, and I also enjoyed it because it was really a defensive game, but it still had enough like offense that where it was satisfying. Not like last year's Super Bowl where it was like 10-3 or whatever. But this one, I think it was a well balanced like game, and it's what I enjoy is like a last minute win, in overtime, and or not, I shouldn't say a last minute win, but like an overtime win. And it was just like two teams that were fighting to stay alive, and unfortunately Buffalo Bills lost that. But
Yeah. Of course, I've been a fan of Houston all year, like and I was expecting the Houston to take them to town, but this game started off really lopsided. The Bills had what? They were up by like, what was it, 14 or something like that, 17 at the end of the half,
yeah,
and just, I mean, kind of like another game that we might talk about later. It was just like one of those things that's like, well, Houston's out of this one. And then all of a sudden, Watson, as I predicted, came back and showed everyone what playing football is all about. It's all about strategy and just being good at the position that you're in. And Houston really came back in a pretty brilliant way, to be honest with you. But as I'll probably talk about later, Houston they don't want to use their weapons, Like, how many throws went to Deshaun not Deshaun Hopkins. How many shots went to Hopkins? How many times did Johnson run the ball? Hardly ever. Johnson was their best running back this year. Even though Hyde had the ball most of the time, it was Johnson who was making the biggest plays, and they hardly used him. So I think that's one of the downfalls of the Texans. As for the Bills, I just think they're not ready yet. I think Josh Allen, he's a good quarterback, but he's kind of like he makes a few too many mistakes, and of course he fumbles the ball in the worst possible situations, and that's it for that.
yeah, he really does need to clean up those fumbling habits, and I think next year if they have a good running back, but if they work on that offensive line, I know he was running around a lot. And if they get receivers, I think receivers will really be a huge, huge upgrade if they get it.
Same thing for Houston. The Bills weren't really using Cole Beasley, and I feel like he's one of their better receivers. He was on my fantasy team. He got me at least 10 to 15 points every week. He was a really good receiver. But I think he got 2 throws to him this game, and that was it. And I was like, if you don't use your weapons, you're gonna lose the war.
Yeah, well, I mean, that comes down to great defense, taking those weapons out of play.
That's true. Very true, Nick. Speaking of defenses taking those weapons out of play, one game that tickled my pickle was the Ravens versus the Titans, which happened in the second round of the playoffs. It was a miserable experience for Ravens fans. Do you agree?
Yes, because the hype was so real, and everyone thought they were going all the way because their season, the whole season, which might be they lost to the Browns. Their season was just like fantastic. Like they couldn't ask for a better season, and then they literally laid an egg. Like this was their first game, Baltimore's for the playoffs. It was Tennessee's second game, but still, it's like that 2 weeks break. I want to say was just cooled them off too much. I think
technically it was a 3 weeks break for the Ravens starters for pretty much all of them, and they came out and they just didn't seem prepared. Just nothing seemed to click for the Ravens. But the Titans, even though they had a little bit of a slow start, they really punched them in the face once they started going. And as I was saying during our podcast last time about the playoffs, when it comes down to it, some teams just need to keep going. They don't want, if you give them a break, then they run out of steam. But if you keep them going, like the Titans, the Titans destroyed the Patriots. Like in the last seconds of that game, huge pick by the Titans, totally destroyed Tom Brady and the rest of them. And then in this game, they pretty much steamrolled the Ravens. It really wasn't even competitive at the end of it all.
Yeah, I mean, Derrick Henry, the Tennessee Titans running back, literally just ended New England Patriots dynasty, which is great.
Yeah.
I'm not complaining.
Henry was one of my favorite players to watch in the playoffs, and unfortunately against the Chiefs, they kind of stuttered and spurred out. But the way the Chiefs are playing, it's hard to beat them right now. Just ask Houston.
Yeah, no, for sure. That is really just ask Houston.
All right, Nikki, what's another one that tickled your pickle?
So going back to the first round again, the second overtime win. Ooh, both overtimes, huh? Getting what I'm picking down?
I ain't getting what you're picking down. I already have it pulled up on YouTube.
The Minnesota Vikings and the New Orleans Saints. Week 1, and the Saints again were kind of in the same scenario as Baltimore Ravens. They had such a fantastic season, and then I can't say they laid an egg because it went in overtime, but it just was like a shocker that Minnesota Vikings, who were like not favored to go far at all, just kind of upset the New Orleans Saints. It was just kind of weird, and it's probably Drew Brees' last game.
You think so?
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, he still was playing really well up to this point in the game. Fun fact, and I think they said this during the game when it was actually being played, I believe that this was the first fumble that the Saints had was at the end of the the last play that they had during the overtime was like the first fumble they had in like months, games. And it was Drew Brees who fumbled it because the defender came around, smacked his arm, and it made him like clench up or something like that too much on the ball, and it flipped out of his hand. And that was one of the deciding factors of the game. And then also, as I predicted, last play to Kyle Rudolph, woo, swish. Now also, this also brings up more controversy for the Saints fans because there might have been a little bit of pass interference, but it was on both sides anyway, so that the penalties would have set themselves because both players were kind of pushing each other. But I mean, that's just for Saints fans to cry about for the remaining part of the year.
As always.
Yeah, I mean the Saints have kind of had a bad like the last 3 or so playoffs. They just had bad luck at the end of it all.
Yeah. What are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do? You're gonna go out there and win games like the fucking team you're supposed to be. The Saints and the Ravens messed up my playoff bracket so hardcore that it was over pretty much before it even started. And I think this is a testament to how random and lucky teams have to be to even like get this far, and then also just how any team can beat any team. Like you said earlier, the Browns beat the Ravens early this year. Like what the Browns went like 4-10 or something like that. It was awful, but we beat the Ravens.
What if the Ravens, have their hot streak again next, season, and like they go 16-0, let's say, or 15-1, and then people will be like, well, they still have no playoff experience, and then they'll be like, well, are they gonna win? Are they gonna lose? Like, it's gonna be tough.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough. That's for sure. All right, the last game that I want to talk about is actually a game that we watched together, as we usually do, I believe. And it was the final round. I believe it was the AFC playoffs, right? And it was the Chiefs versus it was the Texans. I apologize. I thought wrong. This was the first bout for the Chiefs in the playoffs, and it started off abysmally for the Chiefs. I believe Houston was up 24-0, and then at the end, like right before the half ended, I believe Patrick Mahomes went down the field and scored real quickly, like once or twice. I forget what it was, and that's what jump-started the Chiefs and got them back in the order. And this display of talent from the Chiefs, and I mean, I guess from the first half of the Texans, really shows that these two teams were primed and ready to go to the playoffs, and they were ready to maybe get to the Super Bowl. But one team floundered in the end, and it was a team that we all kind of expected to flounder, and that was the Texans. Whereas the Chiefs, even though they failed the first part of it, as you know, football is 4 quarters, and you can't win just by playing well in the first two. You got to go all the way. Any thoughts on this game, Nikki?
Lots of thoughts. It was just crazy, Houston coming out, just I think they said like they scored 3 times in like 3 minutes or something like that. Houston did.
Yeah.
And it was just like Kansas City started off slow. And as you'll hear later on, is just the way Kansas City is always starting slow is kind of worrisome. But then it's like Kansas City's offense is so explosive. I mean, the defense did get a pick six or a couple interceptions, but I mean that helps a lot. But it was just like the flow of the game was all for Houston, and then all of a sudden, the snap of a finger was all for Kansas City, and then Houston had a little comeback, and then it was like just crazy how the flow of the game just shifted so much. Just it was like Houston, Houston, Houston. Oh, Kansas City, Kansas City. It's just like they once they click, they're just unstoppable.
Yeah, it was like kind of like whitewater rafting, right? Like all of a sudden, just everything just exploded for the Chiefs, and it never got easy for the Texans again. But yeah, it was a great game, classic game. A lot of these playoff games were classic games. The Vikings versus the Saints, this game right here, the Texans versus the Chiefs, even the Chiefs versus the Titans and the 49ers versus Green Bay were just classic games, and you really wonder if these games will really go down in history. But I every year there's games like this where you're like, oh, this is gonna go down in history, and then like no one talks about them ever again. But it's fun to watch them, live like we do, and I think we'll remember some of these games for at least a few years, I'm sure.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, they were definitely eventful, I should say, and I'm just glad that it wasn't like Patriots, just steamrolling like they always do.
Right.
But they got kicked out first round, and I think that's what made it better. It's the Patriots getting kicked out.
All right, let's go to the main event. We're going to talk about Superbowl IV. Oh wait, no, LLLIIV. Whatever. I don't. Fuck this logo. We're talking about the Super Bowl this year. What's the? Okay, so the Super Bowl. That's right. It's the 49ers versus the Chiefs. They actually met, and I'm actually showing it right now, earlier in the year, and I believe that the 49ers ended up winning this one, if I'm right.
I don't recall.
Let me look at let me skip to the end. No, the Chiefs won. The Cheeseheads won. Well, not the Cheeseheads. The Green Bay's out. Anyways, what are your predictions and thoughts about this Super Bowl? Is this going to be a classic one to remember?
I mean, my thoughts are all over the place. It's a lot of what ifs. Like what if this happens? If this happens, then this team's gonna win, or if that happens, this team's gonna win. So my prediction is, I think Kansas City's gonna take it, but part of me says San Francisco's gonna be it because where do I start? So San Francisco, they've been so like most consistent team this season, if you could agree with that.
I do.
Because they've just been so dominant. The offense has been good. However, for Kansas City, they've been the most explosive offense by scoring, within the snap of a finger. They get like 5 touchdowns on 5 drives, which is insane for NFL football. But it's like my outtake is San Francisco's defense is probably the best defense they faced this offseason or the playoffs. So that defense, and especially that defensive line, if they could get to Patrick Mahomes, then they would win. But that defense cannot stop Patrick Mahomes. I think Kansas City is going to win. For San Francisco, if their San Francisco's running game has been so good, which you saw in the Green Bay game, they just ran all over Green Bay. So if Kansas City's defensive line cannot stop the run game, I think San Francisco might have a good chance. So pretty much what teams matter is the Chiefs' offensive line versus the San Francisco's defensive line. So
a normal football game.
No, it's not the normal football game because if their secondary is good, that means the passing game is going to be good. But if that defensive line can get to Patrick Mahomes, then it's over pretty much. And if that offensive line can stop the players from getting Patrick Mahomes, then that's how that's how it is.
All right. One little aside. Thank you, Chop the Dog, for the host. I appreciate it. I hope you're doing well today. And also, Callus, thank you for joining the stream as well. Hope you're doing well indeed. Hope you guys are doing well. My thoughts. So if the playoffs are anything to look at and judge what the Super Bowl is going to be like, we saw the Chiefs starting off very slow in both the games that they played during the playoffs. San Francisco started off very, very strong in the 2 games that they played, and they dominated over the Vikings, but Green Bay actually had a little bit of a comeback in the second round. I predict that, once again, the Chiefs are going to start off a little slow. Maybe they'll get a touchdown early on with a big play from Patrick Mahomes or something like that. But I feel like the 49ers defense and and Nick Bosa are going to be able to hold them back. But things are going to start kind of getting out of control during the second half of the game, where it's just going to be both teams kind of scoring back and forth because both teams are getting tired and more tired because both teams are, these are 2 teams that are like, boom, punch you in the face, even though it's funny, the announcers during the Green Bay Packers game versus the 49ers, they're like, oh, they should be throwing the ball more. They aren't throwing Garoppolo hasn't thrown the ball at all. It's like, the times he did throw the ball during that game, they were pretty good passes. But the running game worked. And when the running game works, just keep going for it. It's just like with Henry with the Titans. If Henry's running well and he's able to break through these lines, keep him going. Keep feeding the ball. Same thing with this. If the 49ers can get that run game going and it's a good run game, don't worry about what the analytics are saying. Yeah, try and do a few pass plays here and there the fake them out. But in the end, if the running game's the most dominant thing about your offense, punch the ball in there. Don't be like the Browns this past year, all right? We had 2 of the best running backs in the game, Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb. And what'd we do? We barely ran with them. That's why they did not get the best running yards through the regular season because, oh, guess what? We're at the goal line. Better pass it to Odell Beckham 5 times in a row. No, what was it? Like 6 to 7 times in a row that one time. It was ridiculous. I was like, what are you guys doing? You have like 9 plays where you could get the ball into the end zone and you can't do it. Disappointing. But anyways, with the Chiefs side of things, I think that Patrick Mahomes is definitely the better quarterback. He has better timing and he has better accuracy with the ball. It's just his receivers got to catch the ball. They were very cold when they started out against the Titans and the Houston Texans, and the balls were kind of bouncing off of people's hands. And I think if the receivers and Mahomes can get in sync early on, and of course they've been in sync a lot, but sometimes things take a little bit while to warm up. And I think that if they start out hot with the big throws and the big run plays that Mahomes has been doing, once again, as you said, it's going to be a battle of the offense versus the defense there, where if the defense can't get to Mahomes or can't stop him, what are they going to do? They can't stop him. I mean, look at both of these playoff games that have happened with the Chiefs. Mahomes rolls out and you think he's just going to throw it away or go out of bounds, and he makes like a perfect pass to a guy at the goal line and they score, or something happens where they get a first down. And it's like, how do you stop something like that? It's almost impossible.
Yeah, I like Kansas City's offensive weapons better too. They got Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill, which are 2 like electrifying guys. But I also like, I think on the 49ers offense is George Kittle, which is the tight end. He's like awesome.
He's a beast.
He's a beast. He's like Iron Man on that field.
Yeah.
But it's like,
don't forget about Deebo Smith-Samuel and
Yeah,
I forgot the other guy's name.
Yeah. So Kansas City just has, I think, more offensive weapons. But like you said, it's just, can that defense stop Kansas City? And this is going to be a great Super Bowl. I really, really do think it will be a good Super Bowl.
Run the numbers with me. What's the percentage that the game is going to end with a field goal kick?
The percentage? I don't know.
Like maybe like a 5% chance, 25% chance. Because I think it's like a high 70% chance that this game's gonna end in a field goal, whether it's in overtime or in the regular play.
I'm gonna say 65% chance. So I think there's gonna be a high chance that it ends in the field goal. I will do.
and who has a better chance of making that field goal? Because right now, I think the Chiefs have a better chance of making that game-winning field goal. Because the San Francisco 49ers field goal kicker has been a little iffy, especially in those like tight situations, like the game against Seattle. I think ended up being a missed field goal and stuff like that.
That's true. Yeah, he shanked one of them,
Yeah.
like to the far left, like it was some Madden game.
Well, Nick, thank you for joining me on the podcast. I look forward to watching the game live with you, with wings in hand, and hopefully there's no annoying people around, laughing at all the commercials.
I can't wait for those commercials.
Can't wait for that halftime show. Woo, boy.
Woo.
Anyways, any last words?
Any last words? I don't know. I mean, I think my prediction, I want to give a score prediction. I did say it was going to end in the field, or has a high percentage of ending in field goal, but me personally, I don't think it will. I'm going to say Chiefs 51, San Francisco 42.
Ooh.
I think it's going to be I think it's going to be opposite of last year. Yeah, I think it's going to be opposite of last year.
Yeah, last year broke records as the lowest scoring game. This year is going to be the highest scoring game. Yeah, I agree. I think it's going to be like a 42 to like 45 or something like that, something weird like that. And I think that the Chiefs are going to knock out the 49ers. I think the Chiefs have a better team for the playoffs than the 49ers. I think the 49ers are going to kind of burn out towards the end, especially like they did against Green Day. And I think that the Chiefs are going to take advantage of that. And Green Day.
That's what you said. You said Green Day.
I know. I meant to say Bay. It's all the same. All right, Nicholas, walk down that boulevard of broken dreams and get the fuck out of my house. Thanks for coming on again, Nick. Bye-bye.
Yeah, thanks for having me. See you.
All right, everyone. That was our good friend, Nick, a.k.a. GreedyWaffle. Thanks for joining, Nick. As always, great to have you on. All right, let's actually talk about some video game news, guys, because there's a good amount of stories that I want to get to that we haven't gotten to yet. The first one to get to, which is really making my face really bright, Jesus, is that Pokemon Go is finally getting a PvP mode, and it's going to launch this week. And there's a new thing called Pikachu Libre, which is up for grabs. They don't have a picture of Pikachu Libre on here, but this is actually a long-awaited thing to come to Pokemon Go. I mean, how long ago was Pokemon Go a thing, right? But here we are. We're finally here, and we are we're talking about it. So, Niantic, who is the developer behind Pokemon Go, is rolling out a new feature to ensure stability during PvP battles. The preseason kicks off with the Great League, and the rotation formats to Ultra League on Monday, February 10th, and then Master League on Monday, February 24th. The Great League will return once again on March 9th, and when that preseason ends, Season 1 will begin with a date to be announced later. So they're starting off with like a preseason type thing where, they're going to test the servers probably, they're going to test all those features and stuff like that, and then they're going to roll out the official Season 1, and that's going to begin, Monday, March 9th of 2020. So yeah, and as you know, beating players in PvP is going to allow you to rank up faster, and it's going to reward you things such as Stardust, items, avatar gear, and special Pokemon encounters. And Pikachu Libre is among one of the prizes. So I'm guessing he's got a luchador mask on. So kind of cool for people who are still playing Pokemon Go. Let's move on though, because I do not play Go. Alright, so here's a game that people who are fans of Wii Bowling or Wii Sports in general may like to look at. This is called Strike 10-Pin Bowling, and might just scratch that itch for Wii Sports. I haven't watched the trailer yet, so let's go ahead and watch this together. I think that'd be pretty fun. Oh yeah! I hope this is royalty-free! Ooh, he curved it. Look at that. He's a pro already. These people are not looking like they're having fun, though. They're like... I'm having fun. I need help. Okay, so it looks like it even has some of the same modes from Wii Sports. Whoa, what was that? I wasn't looking. Whoa, he can play it like a tablet. That actually kind of looks worth it. It's going to be available the 23rd of January, which already happened, so if you want to, you can check that out. GreedyWaffle says, these people, like, they are straight up not having a good time. I know, but the game actually looks like it has a lot of those similar things as, like, Wii Sports did, Wii Bowling, where you have, like, the 100-pin knockdown, you have the special pins you gotta hit that, whatever. So I think this would actually be a good game. Let's see how much it is, though. That's always a... Okay, so it's $10. $9.99. Let's read the features. So Strike, 10-pin bowling. Full classic 10-pin bowling for 1 to 4 players. Series classic 10-pin, which is 3 games. 3 mini games available, each with 4 levels and 30 frames to challenge even the best bowlers. Candle pin bowling, which is the really skinny pins that we saw. Duck pin and rubber band duck pin bowling, which sounds kind of interesting. Mega lane, which is probably the 100-pin knockdown. Upgrade your ball with over 35 cool designs to choose from, and there's over 30 achievements to win. So yeah, you can play it either with motion controls or touch screen controls, just holding your Switch. That's pretty cool. This might actually be worth it. There's a lot of games that come out that are like this, like those Carnival games, and they're just shit. They're shovelware. You know what they are. But this actually looks like it might be worth getting, so I'm definitely going to look into this and maybe pick it up. Game of the Year, Yemmy? Haven't played it yet. But yeah, I think that's a really cool thing to kind of scratch that itch. Like, we got Brain Age again, so why can't we get another sports game? Switch Sports. Sport Switch. Sport Switch. Perfect. Yemmy, you're a genius. Write that down, Nintendo. All right, so the creators of the CD Projekt Red came out and talked about the Witcher games compared to the books. And as you know, I believe the books came out first. Someone can obviously correct me if you want to. There's also a new Netflix series out, which has actually been pretty good. Henry Cavill is the titular Witcher character, and he's actually really good as the character. So, let's see what they said about comparing the books to the game. I cannot compare anything to the video games, because I have never played any. Since I was a kid, I haven't played any games, with a possible exception of bridge and poker. Video games are simply not for me. I prefer books as entertainment. Anyway, in my opinion, TV series and video games, any of them, cannot be compared. They are too different in approach, making it objective. You cannot compare spaghetti carbonara with a bicycle, even though both have advantages and disadvantages. When pressed on his opinion of the Netflix series, he said, "My name appears in the credits. I cannot praise the show. It wouldn't be decent." What? What does that mean? Before adding that he would be an idiot to discuss what he felt didn't successfully translate to the show. Okay, I understand now. So he also said, I realize that current times accustom us, which I find terrible, to the strange convergence of media with the freedom of mixing them. To me as a writer, the idea to write adjuvant content and create something complementary to a game or a comic is an absolute pinnacle of idiocy. Oh my god, I remember my reaction. I know many bad words and I used all of them in many languages. In 20 years, somebody will ask Witcher, the game, and who's the author? No one will know. So it's the writer of The Witcher 3 came out and talked about things. Kind of a hot take there, don't you think? Interesting. Very interesting. That he does not play games. He does not watch the series. He doesn't read. He doesn't. I think he writes the books. But okay, all right. So yeah, that's an interesting take from him. Let's move on. That was weird. All right, so we got some sad news for everyone today. Nintendo is going to stop repairing Switch consoles. I'm going to turn off my light because it was really bright on my fucking face. Nintendo's going to stop repairing Wii consoles in Japan this March. That's right. They're going to stop repairing Wii consoles.
In Japan.
There it is. In Japan. So why is that, you might say? Well, I mean, the Wii is like, what, 10, 20 years old now, so obviously they're kind of out of warranty, and they're also off the market officially. But they sold about 101.63 million units globally, and it's one of Nintendo's most successful home consoles of all time, which could be surpassed by the Switch in the near future. So, Nintendo has confirmed that they are no longer going to offer repairs for the Wii in Japan, citing difficulty in sourcing the parts needed. Repairs for Wii peripherals will also close as soon as stock is exhausted. So in the end, it is the end of an era. I mean, the Wii has obviously been a staple of household gaming for a while. Just Dance 2020 came out for the Wii, which was really surprising to a lot of people, and it did not come out for the Wii U. So that's kind of just shows you how big of an impact the Wii has on the world. So yeah, maybe Nintendo North America and Europe are gonna follow suit. But I think there's more like people who can tinker with things in America, repair things like this in America. But I have never opened up one myself. I think you can call the Wii retro. I think now it's official because you can't get the parts officially from Nintendo anymore after this is all used up. I think the Wii has come full circle. It's finally a retro device. All right, let's move on. We need to get through these Nintendo articles faster because the light is just so bright on my face. All right, unleash hell with this officially licensed Doom Eternal wireless controller for the Nintendo Switch. That's right. There is a new Switch Pro controller coming out that's perfect for you Doom players. This one's coming from Power A. They've been officially producing licensed Pro controllers for the Switch since I believe the beginning of the life of the Switch, and they've released controllers for Super Mario, Metroid, Legend of Zelda, and also Animal Crossing: New Horizons, which is brand spanking new. And now, in addition to the controllers listing on Amazon, they've revealed a Pro controller based on Doom Eternal. The design includes a graphic, the game's logo, and it has red-colored buttons. This controller follows on from the one Power A released in 2019, which celebrated the 25th anniversary of Doom. So there you go. There's the controller right there. It has special buttons on the back for you pro gamers out there, and it also uses AA batteries for you pro gamers out there. The Pro controller I have is a rechargeable, so that's kind of weird that I guess these aren't like official Nintendo. They're just officially licensed by Nintendo, so they can't all be winners. Anyway, so what's this feature, guys? Wireless freedom using Bluetooth 5.2. LEDs for player number, button mapping, and low battery warning. Includes 2 AA batteries for up to 30 hours of gameplay. Features advanced gaming buttons for on-the-fly button mapping. Officially licensed by Nintendo and Bethesda Softworks with 2-year limited warranty. Visit PowerA.com/support for more information. So yeah, it's a kind of a nifty little controller. Doom's not coming to the Switch right away, but I think this is a nice controller. The Pro controller I have is the one from Nintendo, and it's iffy, but this one looks a little bit more sturdy, I think. Kind of an interesting design with the little blood splatter and the Doom logo, but I think the buttons are really the cream of the crop here. I like the color of the buttons compared to the black of the controller. So yeah, that's interesting. That's interesting for sure. Alright, so you Pokemon fans, there is a new Pac-Man Tamagotchi, and it's going to be released possibly soon. So this year is the 40th anniversary of Pac-Man, and now it's getting its very own special Tamagotchi that will bring Pac-Man to life. In addition to a Tamagotchi pet, this one also stars Pac-Man and includes some iconic features from the long-running game series. The device will go on pre-sale next month on the 5th of February and will appear in stores on the 15th of March. Like a regular Tamagotchi, it's perfect for on-the-go entertainment and can easily fit into pockets or bags. So here's the little snippets from it. Raise and nurture your Tamagotchi character with the help of Pac-Man. Pac-Man will save your Tamagotchi character from ghosts and bugs. Feed your Tamagotchi rice for Pac-Man's favorite, cherries. Raise your Tamagotchi character from egg to baby to adult. 7 adults included, which is determined by how you take care of your Pac-Man Tamagotchi character. 2 fun mini-games, play the Pac-Man game and catch game. 2 different shell styles to choose from. 2 Pac-Man mazes to choose from, yellow and black, for ages 8 and up. The battery LR44 is included, and there's no Wi-Fi needed. That's right. So if you're interested in this, there you go. For collectors all around, you can now get the Pac-Man Tamagotchi. Isn't Tamagotchi, isn't that like a 90s thing that didn't come back? Like, I know a few people who wanted Tamagotchis back in the day, but I haven't even thought about Tamagotchis since the 90s when I was a kid. I remember, I think my sister had one, and I didn't understand how to use it, so I think mine died. I mean, how many Tamagotchis are still, thriving off of that low power, and they're just, waiting for someone to come and give them food? Geez, rip to all those Tamagotchis. Am I right? Oh, my gosh. Yeah, you can play Pac-Man on it. It looks, there's not even 4 buttons on it. How do you play Pac-Man? It's like a dumbed down version of Pac-Man where you can only go left, right, and down? What the hell? I don't know how it's gonna work, but it looks kind of goofy to me. I was never a huge fan of Tamagotchi, like I said, but, for you people who like, 90s nostalgia type things, this might be for you. Alright, moving on. Stardew Valley has sold over 10 million copies in just 4 years, which is actually really, really good. So, as you guys already know, Stardew Valley was inspired by Harvest Moon, and it's been the definitive farming simulation since its release in 2016 on the PC. The game's creator, Eric Concerned Ape Baroon, has continually improved the game while at the same time porting it across every possible platform, including the Nintendo Switch. So he came out at Concerned Ape on Twitter and said, Stardew Valley has sold over 10 million copies. It's strange and... whoop, I accidentally clicked on it. Damn it. It's strange and amazing to think back to when I was making this game in my bedroom with no clue if anyone would like it. Only 4 years ago. To everyone who has played the game, supported it, and made it all possible, thank you. So that's good for him. Good for that in the indie developer scene. If you guys don't recall from YemmyCast, the person who helped with Sonic Mania got a really bad deal for helping them out. He got paid I think he got paid 4 times for the game, in tiers, and that was it, and he was kind of lost for money after a little bit. Stardew Valley, though, completely self-funded, completely indie. If you guys want to support the creator, go out and buy the game. I've never played it myself, but I do know that it's like a simulation type game, and people really enjoy it. So yeah, congratulations to him for 10 million freaking copies. Nice. Okay, so this is big news for you Silent Hills fans. Konami has confirmed a new Silent Hill game is being considered. They're thinking about it. So last week I saw that a bunch of rumors about a possibility of another game in the Silent Hill franchise was reported. I didn't report on it myself because I don't usually report on rumors unless they're Batman Arkham related, because those seem to be pretty fun. But speaking with PC Games N, which is I think it's a website, a Konami representative said, "We cannot share anything at this point, but we are listening to customer feedback and considering ways to provide the next title." It's a fairly surprising response where a Japanese studio doesn't kill the rumors where they stand, instead offering fans hope that they might actually become truth rather than speculation. What? This article lies. It's not really... They didn't say anything about being considered. Fuck this article. They lied. I thought that they were going to be like, yes, we are thinking about it, but they're just like, we're listening to customer feedback. That doesn't confirm anything or deny anything. Hey, Dave, thank you for the bits. I appreciate it. 25 bits you shouldn't have, Dave. I can go out and buy my very own Tamagotchi with that, maybe. But that's not like a confirmation or a consideration or anything. That's just like a statement, a blanket statement. Yeah, maybe they are working on it in the background, but how good is this game going to be without the amazing person who originally made the Silent Hill series? Remember that guy? Remember what happened to Metal Gear Survive when that guy left the company? Just saying. Just saying. Also, remember that HD collection? Do you really want another Silent Hill? I understand PT is one of the best games of the last decade. It was just a little mini game. It wasn't. It was half of a game, but it still made such a powerful impact. But to think that PT and the Silent Hill series are going to be combined in the next game, it's hard to say that because Kojima's gone. So don't believe everything you read. All right, so finally, the 2 Point Hospital has finally gotten a release date. Actually, I already talked about this. Oh, this is never mind. I don't want to. Never mind. Skip it. All right, never mind. We already went over that in a past podcast. Okay, moving on. The Walking Dead: Saints and Sinners, which is a new VR game for the PSVR, has a release window, and there's glowing reviews ahead of the PSVR launch. Apparently, it has an 81 on Metacritic. It's a review bomb, guys. I'm surprised I didn't say that. There's no trailer for this. That's kind of annoying. So Marvel's Iron Man VR was, of course, last week we said it was delayed, but now the stage has been set for the Walking Dead Saints and Sinners to come out and punch the VR world in the face. So if you don't recall, not Survival Instinct. What was Overkill's The Walking Dead was canceled pretty much on all platforms. I believe it's still up maybe on Steam, but it's not going to be finished. I believe Overkill shut down, if I don't recall. But now, who's the developer behind this one? Skydance Interactive is coming out with Saints and Sinners. So what is the release date of the game? Not entirely sure. I believe it's for Q1 2020, but obviously early copies of the game have gone out to people to review, so that means that the game must be getting close to release. So it's got a 81 on Metacritic, a 9 out of 10 from IGN, the 6 Asus and Road to VR, and VR Focus gave it an 8 out of 10. Upload VR came out with a statement and said, "The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners is easily the best zombie VR game to date. The shooting mechanics feel heavy and impactful, and the melee is extremely violent, just in the right ways." Hopefully there's lots of dismemberment in this game. I remember there's a zombie game that came out, I think it was Arizona Sunshine came out. There really wasn't a lot of dismemberment. Same thing with Killing Floor VR. It didn't really feel like a true zombie type experience, but this is promising. This is definitely promising, and we'll have to wait and see once we get full trailers and stuff like that. But for now, just keep it on your radar if you're a fan of the PSVR. Whew. All right, speaking of zombies, great segue, Yemmy. You definitely did not plan that. No, I did not. Zombie Army 4. Dead Wars Hordes arise in full season of post-launch content. So, they have... it's not called Nazi Zombie Army anymore because they had to take the Nazi part off. Zombie Army 4 has told everyone about the new post-launch experience. Let's watch it together for the first time. New 3-part campaign.
The dead just keep coming. They must be responding to the relic.
We still don't
Hell
know
cult.
what this relic is or what it can do.
Whoa, look at they're like bats. Terrifying new enemies. Like bats. New playable characters. Ooh, look at those. Oh, the F-242. New weapons. Double-barreled shotgun, sawed off. That was the MG. There's a sawed off, I think. New content drops. And free new horde maps. There you go. So it wasn't exact free pre-order DLC Undead Airman character pack. Pretty cool. Oh, here we go. Hold on. Super Deluxe Edition includes main game, 9 weapon bundles, 5 skin packs, 3 additional campaign levels, 4 character packs, and 4 character outfit bundle. If that doesn't get you excited, I don't know what will. So free horde mode stuff. That's pretty cool. That's something that's like universal that people would want. So those who purchase the season pass will gain access to 3 new campaigns, 4 character packs all across all modes, along with new skins, 9 weapon bundles for the use with a further 5 packs of weapon skins, And I think they also said new weapons as well are coming with the DLC. So that's pretty neat. That's pretty neato. I'm pretty excited for this. GreedyWaffle asked Mr. Predicto, will Zombie 4 Dead War be Game of the Year? And said, it is decidedly so. You can't argue with those facts. Facts. I'm excited for this. I hope you guys are excited for this as well. This is definitely one of my most anticipated games when after it's been announced, of course. I need to pre-order it still, but I've been having trouble with the Epic Store, as you do. So I'm going to try and get that pre-ordered by the end of the week, because it does come out the 4th of February, which is next week, and that's really, really soon. So don't forget to pre-order this, guys, or don't forget to buy it when it comes out. I'm giving it the Yummy stamp of approval. I'm judging it before it comes out, guys. That's what I'm saying right now. And I from the screenshots, from all the information they've given us from last week's information, this is looking to be like the best zombie experience we can possibly have. And like I said, the original trilogy is great. The original Nazi Zombie Army trilogy is awesome. And this looks like it's just adding on top of that and making things even more better and bringing it really into the next generation. So, 2 thumbs up. I'm ready. I'm ready. I hope you guys are ready. I really do. Okay, so, I guess this had to be said. Capcom came out and said, don't worry, Resident Evil The Resistance isn't considered canon. So Project Resistance is the add-on for Resident Evil 3 Remake. It's coming, I believe it's coming bundled with Resident Evil 3, so no need to pre-order it separately, and if you don't want to play it, just, give it off to someone else, I suppose. But, they said that Resident Evil Resistance, Peter Fabiano, right? Fabiano? I'm going to say it 5 more times. Confirms the news in an interview with official PlayStation Magazine, where he says the spin-off basically set in Raccoon City with scenarios that make it impossible to fit in the actual timeline. Due to the nature of the 2 titles complementing one another, that being they both are released and escaping, both are released and based on escaping, Fabiano stated that it made sense thematically to bundle them together. We also wanted to take up the challenge of building out an online game set in the Resident Evil universe. So there we have it. Resident Evil Resistance is a spin-off of the main game and is not part of the Leon S. Kennedy and Jill Valentine stories of Escape. I am really interested in this game. Resident Evil 2 Remake was awesome, as you know. People gave it the Game of the Year stamp. Resident Evil 3 looking to be the same amount of high quality, and it's coming bundled in with this Project Resistance. That might pique my interest even more. Like I was saying to Kylex Plays during his live stream, he was playing Resident Evil Origins or Zero. What was I about to say? I totally just blanked, guys. Oh shit, I'm getting old. Dang. Oh, like I was saying to him, this game looks a lot like the Zombie U game mode, where one person controlled all the enemies, and then one person tried to escape or kill all the enemies or last as long as they can. And this looks like, obviously it's 4v1, so maybe it's more of like an Evolve type scenario, but instead of being one big bad guy, I believe Tyrant is like one of the last things you can unlock as the Resistance guy, obviously. So I think it's going to be cool. I think it's really going to be cool, and I think it's going to be worth it. And, I do think that this is definitely going to be one of those games people are going to be talking about, just like Resident Evil 2. This might just spark them to remake maybe 4, maybe remake 0 and 1. I don't know. It's really up to the developers at this point. Do they want to keep making money? Yes, they probably do. Resident Evil 7 is still a great game, and I believe they said they were working on an 8. But right now, their focus is, of course, on Resident Evil 3, and if we're getting yearly Resident Evil games and they're this high quality, I'll just scratch off Resident Evil 6 from my memory. But as of right now, I still shit on Resident Evil for that game, so whatever. Alright, so let's, before I read anything about this article, Apex Legends came out with a little bit of a live stream, and they were going to introduce the new character, and something happened during the reveal.
We're sitting here tonight with James the Forge McCormick. It's great to have you here.
Of course it's great to have me here. But please, call me Jimmy.
Jimmy, your recent victories have qualified you to finally compete in the Apex Games. What does that feel like?
Oh, it's been a wild ride to get here, but Hammond Robotics has had my back the entire way. I am blessed to have such great support behind me.
Now, you've been hailed by many as the people's champion, but some still believe that you are not ready to be an Apex legend.
Look, the legends are great and they deserve respect, but they've never faced anyone like me. And when we hit the ground, I dare any of them to bring the fight up close and personal.
We seem to be having some technical difficulties. Sorry about that.
Don't worry.
So essentially, they announced the new character is actually going to be, oops, what's this guy's name? It's actually going to be Forge. His name is Forge, and he was actually data mined well before the reveal of this character, who was named whatever the fuck his name was. I don't even remember. His name was even in the trailer. Drop the hammer. That's all I'm seeing right now. No, it's not Forge? No. No, we got, oh, jeez, I'm so stupid. I read the wrong thing. Hold on. Season 4 being Legend Forge, but not at all. It's the long-rumored Revenant takes... Okay, Revenant is the guy's name. Oh, I'm so sorry. So Forge was the name of the fake character that they made. And I think they had, like, a famous guy voice act him, too. And now we see that Reverent stabbed him in the fucking face, and he died. So this was actually a pretty fun reveal, because that's something you're not expecting. I mean, you look at Overwatch and their reveals. Look at the reveals of the past Apex Legends characters. Nothing like this has actually been done where there's like a fake out. Even though people discovered Remnant existing in the Apex Legends like code, I mean, they faked everyone out with this. So that was a pretty good job by Respawn Entertainment. They still are the beacon of hope in EA, and I think that even though Apex Legends isn't my favorite thing ever, and I uninstalled it from my PlayStation, still cool. It's a trap. It is definitely a trap. So on the 4th of February, you're going to be able to play as Revenant in Apex Legends, along with an all-new sniper rifle and leveling up another battle pass. So there you go. Cool beans. Alright, more DLC news. Metro Exodus Sam's Story DLC, In Search of the USA, is out next month. So as you know, I believe there's 3 story DLCs planned for the game, and this is the first one, I believe. But Metro Exodus came out last year. It was okay. I enjoyed what I played. I didn't get to finish the game. It was very buggy and glitchy, and it didn't seem like the open world thing was a good thing for the Metro series. Even though it kind of had snippets in Last Light and stuff like that, Exodus definitely hurt. And I think they've updated the game, of course, but I think that it wasn't the best option for the game. I think they should have centered on more of a straight-to-the-point story-type game. If you haven't played the Metro series, it's still a great series, hands down. So, coming on the 11th of February, Sam's Story is going to be released. A man on a mission to make his way back home to the USA. In a quote, they said, Sam has long dreamed of returning to his homeland and maybe finding his family alive. The prospects seemed impossible in the darkened tunnels of the Metro. But when the Spartans discovered that Moscow was not the only city left alive after the war, holding on hope didn't feel very foolish. So yeah, ruined industrial buildings and crumbled residential districts are coming to you in the first... Yes, so this is the first piece of DLC for Metro Exodus. There's a submarine in this picture, which is pretty cool. A submarine, it looks like an M1911, kind of like a modded M1911. Looks like the Golden Gate Bridge maybe back there. That's not the Golden Gate Bridge, but it is definitely it looks like an American-type bridge. I'm not sure what this is. Looks like a castle wall, almost, maybe a brick wall. And of course, there's a submarine there. So I'm thinking that you're going to make your way to the coast, and you're going to hijack a submarine, get it working, and then you're going to go to America. And that's maybe where the game's going to take place, in an open world environment. Who knows? Kind of cool sounding. I'm definitely going to get back to this game soon. You'll probably hear me talking about it in the next few weeks. But for right now, it was a mediocre game in a it was made by a very nice studio, but the game just was not up to snub. But I'm definitely going to get back to it, and hopefully the game has been improved. Let's move on. All right. Patapon 2 Remastered finally has a PS4 release date, and it got a new announcement trailer. Let's watch that. So I've never played one of these games. I saw the first one got remastered a while back, and I don't know what this game's all about. Lead the Rhythm Army Battle game. Oh, so it's like a rhythm kind of game? Rhythm-based game? I bet Callus jacks off to this. Discover the Pat-Tap-On rhythm. Customize your troops. Through over 30 missions. Pat-Tap-On 2 available. Okay, so the remaster is going to be available the 30th of January, which is tomorrow, actually. So if you're listening to this in the future, just know that it's the 30th of January. So unlike Loco Roco Remastered and the rest, this particular game has been missing in action for what feels like an eternity with no word from the publisher to its whereabouts. Well, out of nowhere, Sony has last confirmed the date for PlayStation 4 Remaster of Pat-Tap-On 2, which is tomorrow. So yeah, Thursday, the 30th of January. They're saying that one criticism from the first remaster was a lack of calibration options, meaning audio could go out of sync with the visuals. Ugh. For a rhythm game, that's not great. Yeah, definitely. If I couldn't change how Rock Band 2 or 4 or whatever, how that all works, the calibration, that'd be pretty shitty. So yeah, hopefully they added that to this game. It looks kind of colorful and fun, but we'll have to wait and see. I've never played these games, like I said, so I don't have any opinions on them. I just thought you'd like to see that, and it's a pretty good announcement. And Callus is about to tell me how to pronounce the game. Pat-Tap-On. Oh, Patapon. Tampon? Tapapon? Patapon. Whatever. Fuck it. Alright, let's move on. So, Bethesda and ID Software have come out and said that there are no microtransactions in Doom Eternal. Oh, yeah, baby. So, in case you were worried, and I was, as you all obviously think or know, they came out and said that Doom Eternal is not going to have microtransactions. In an interview, Martin came out and said, Eternal is a $60 game, not a free-to-play game or mobile game. We are giving you the complete experience with no store, just like you'd expect. Unlocking skins with XP is part of the experience, if you care about that stuff, or you can completely ignore it. There you go. Awesome. Hugo Martin. That was Hugo Martin, who was responding to a fan question on Facebook. So he's assured that Doom Eternal is not going to have microtransactions. That's great. That's awesome. The first game didn't have microtransactions. This game's not going to have microtransactions. I think that's the perfect way to take the series, and I think that's the perfect thing to do. If your game isn't free to play, do not put in microtransactions. Okay? Or put in a battle pass system that still gives the players the new stuff, but it's, the new stuff is free and you have to pay for the extra stuff, right? Don't put microtransactions into your full price games. Alright, I'm more lenient with, like, multiplayer titles. Thank you for the host, Keji Rain. I appreciate you so much. How are you doing today? I hope you're doing well. But like I was saying, like if Jedi Fallen Order, the game that Keji Rain was playing today, that I unfortunately was not able to get to again, if that game had microtransactions for unlocking the orange, green, purple lightsaber, I would have thrown that game against a wall and said, fuck you, you bitch. You don't deserve to be here. But it didn't. It unlocked everything for you just by finding collectibles. And that's perfect. That's perfect. So this game, they said that getting skins will be a part of leveling up with XP. And that is a perfect thing. You can still have in-game currency, but make it easy to attain. Don't put in microtransactions to pay your way to the top. Get the best skins like Fortnite and that shit. In-game currency is fine as long as you don't have to pay for it. And as long as they give you enough to warrant the in-game currency. Modern Warfare, you go along that battle pass, you get like 300 coins every like 15 tiers. And you can't even get anything with 300 coins. Keji Rain says, hey Yemmy, hope you're doing great. I finally got to stop by. I've been trying to stop by on your streams, but you keep going live when I'm at the grocery store, I'm eating, stuff like that. I apologize. I really wish I could join more. And I really wanted to join because Jedi Fallen Order, I really wanted to see you finish that game off because I love that game. But unfortunately, it was not meant to be. But thank you for coming today. I appreciate you. We're getting through it. We're almost done here. All right, so sad news for the Uncharted movie. It's been delayed again because I believe the director has, of course, departed ways with the studio. So I love this, the Unstarted movie. Good one. So yeah, the projected release of the movie was supposed to be the 5th of March 2021, but just a few days ago, the director who was signed on to the Uncharted movie has, of course, stepped down. And as far as we're all aware, Tom Holland is supposed to play young Nathan Drake, and Mark Wahlberg is supposed to play Sully. But at this time, and after so many different disappointments with this, it just feels like it's never going to come out at this point. It's just never going to come out at this point. It's just going to be a movie that's left in limbo, and it's never going to finish. So, unfortunate news for the Uncharted movie. I think it has good potential. It really does have good potential. And you gotta kind of jump on it before Tom Holland gets out of his kind of like baby face stage. Because even though he's older, he's not gonna stay that pretty for too much longer. And Mark Wahlberg, of course, I'm not a fan of his acting, but at least he kind of resembles Sully, kind of. I don't know. I haven't seen a picture of him recently. Fallen Order was really fun. Glad you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed the ending as well. They kind of left it open-ended, you know. That's good. That's good to hear. Good to hear. All right. Speaking of Modern Warfare and stuff like that, new Modern Warfare patches. So the latest patch for Modern Warfare came out. It was update 1.13, and it was pushed to all PlayStation and other systems. It was a pretty sizable download. But after you got finished downloading it, if you logged into the Modern Warfare and tried to go to the multiplayer, it forced you to download 2 separate patches equaling about 25 gigabytes in total. One was for multiplayer, and one was for shit ops. I'm sorry, spec ops. So yes, the patches are very big, and I'm not sure what they entirely do, but it's weird that they wouldn't just have you download the 2 things they force you to download after starting up the game within that first initial patch. It's very odd how they decide to do it. Like when the game first came around, you had to download a multiplayer patch and the Spec Ops, and there was one other thing you had to download separate from the main game, which was very, very, very weird. Very weird. I don't know. It's one of those things that's like, you could do it a little bit easier. There's an easier way to do this, guys. But good news is we now have 10 custom classes. That's right, 10 custom classes, which is a good thing. I was feeling a little restricted with 5, even though I've really been only working on 1 gun at a time. I officially have 2 golden weapons, guys. Woohoo! The Ram 7 and the M4A1. I'm working on the TAC, whatever it's called, the first assault rifle. And I've been kind of playing around with the FAL and the FAMAS, so I'm getting there. Eventually I'll have some more gold weapons, but I've been slacking on playing Modern Warfare recently. I've been playing more Battlefield, and with the new Battlefield update that released, looks like good times are going to be on the way. Alright, let's move on. We're going to skip this one. We're going to skip over to Nioh. These are for you, Callus. Nioh 2. That's right, Nioh 2. A bunch of new stuff has come out for Nioh 2. They are expanding co-op support to up to 3 players. Avatar creation has also been revealed as well. So in a tweet, boom, 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 someone came out and said, this wasn't in the beta. Avatar creation. Change the individual looks of your character. And here's some screenshots here. You can kind of see how there's a little bit of basic character customization there. Kind of cool. Also, they said that 3-player co-op mode is going to allow you to play the full game with up to 2 extra friends, adding more enemies to the map in the process should you call for backup. Kind of cool. Let's also go to the Nioh 2 is going to expand with extensive PS4 post-release add-on plans. So Nioh 2, just like Nioh 1, is going to have a season pass, I guess. And the add-on packs are going to focus on a different storyline that predates the main plot of the game with promising hours of additional gameplay. Creative director Tom Lee explained on the PlayStation blog, similar to the original Nioh, players can expect new weapons, new combat abilities, and new characters with each DLC, incorporating both multiple main and sub missions. You'll be able to get your hands on all the DLC if you purchase the Season Pass, or if you want to get the Deluxe Edition, you can also get that as well. There's also a Special Edition, which comes with a pre-order at physical retailers, blah, blah, blah. Next, Nioh 2 story trailer. There's a new Nioh 2 story trailer. Let's jump into this, because I have not watched this myself either.
18.
Hold on there, buddy. We need to turn off that music. I'm ready. Kind of looks like a Tekken 7 character.
Perhaps it must be that way.
Oh, Spearman Skeleton are back, guys. Confirmed.
As long as people are people.
What is it, Nine Tails? The evolution of, what's his face? Ooh, nice mask.
I will sniff out the very finest stones.
Judging by their glow, they're the real thing.
Oh, it's the guy from God of War.
I just want to slay yokai. Nothing more, nothing less. Next time I see that thing, it'll taste my blade.
Get the hell away from me, no. Head to a worry.
Well, let us see how you fare against me.
Answer me, Toshimitsu. Where are the spirit stones?
He's a little horny.
Dreams of the spirit stones come at a price.
To surrender oneself to a wish or desire. How frightful.
So this is what we've become.
Let this be the end of wars waged with spirit stones.
Pretty cool. So that comes out the 13th of March, which is actually pretty soon. So on the PlayStation blog, it says, it is the Warring States period in Japan. The year is 1555. Never-ending warfare has transformed the nation into a land of chaos, infected by demonic yokai, evil spirits who feed upon their victims. It is in this setting of relentless mayhem that we meet our protagonist, a rogue mercenary hunting down yokai in the Minoh province. This demon hunter has a terrible secret. They are a half-breed, the orphan offspring of both human and yokai blood. Unable to find a place amongst mankind, our demon hunter journeys alone. Pretty interesting indeed. This game is definitely going to be clashing with Ghost of Tsushima today, I think. Or this year, I think. Both games are set in feudal Japan. Both games have like a supernatural element to them. Both games, obviously, we don't know about Ghost of Tsushima, but you have different stances and weapons in Nioh 2, which is probably going to be about similar to Ghost of Tsushima. I'm excited for this. I really want to finish Nioh 1 though, but I'm still stuck on the damn centipede. Fucker. I tried to play a little bit of it the other day, and I just was getting nowhere with it. And besides, I enjoy the game still. It's still a great game. I think that it's one of the better Souls-like experiences that I've played. And hopefully this game follows the same format. It looks like it does with the type of language they were using in the last article. So, cool beans. Cool freaking beans. All right. Games with gold. So we're getting some new games with gold this month for February 2020. So you're going to be getting TT Isle of Man, Call of Cthulhu, Fable Heroes, and Star Wars Battlefront. What's TT Isle of Man? Take on the challenge of Snaefell Mountain in a motorcycle racing game. All right, that's all we need to read of that. Call of Cthulhu. Plunge into the world of cosmic horror and creepy madness in Call of Cthulhu. In the official video game inspired by the classic pen and paper RPG, investigate a family death on an isolated island where nothing is as it seems. This game came out with the mixed reviews. Wasn't as good as people were hoping. Fable Heroes. Get in on a highly addictive hack-and-slash adventure title, Fable Heroes. That's all I need to read of that. Star Wars Battlefront, the OG. You all know what this is. It's one of the best games ever. There's no online game though. There's no online gameplay though. But that's pretty cool that you're getting Star Wars Battlefront. Because I think you got, look, it says Battlefront 2. You got that, I believe it was last month, right? Oh, April 2019. So that was a little while ago, but that's cool. I loved Battlefront 2 as a kid. I never played any of these games, but as you know, this is not my style. This is not my style, and this got really bad reviews, so not probably going to pick it up. Speaking of free games, the PlayStation Plus 2020, February 2020 games have been announced, and they are the BioShock Collection, The Sims 4, and a PlayStation VR game called Firewall 0 Hour. This is, once again, a really, really, really great month for PlayStation Plus owners. Last month was good. This month is pretty good. BioShock is a series that not a lot of people have played. If you have different, different tastes in games, and if you want to dip your toe in, here you go. All three of these games are really good. I enjoyed BioShock Infinite the most, but I thought BioShock 2 was better than 1. Obviously, that's not the not everyone's opinion on the games, but that's just me personally. I've beaten BioShock 2 multiple times and BioShock Infinite multiple times. BioShock 1 I've only beaten once and only really have gotten through once. As for Sims 4, don't really know. It's Sims, okay? It's Sims. If you like that kind of thing, there you go. And then Firewall 0 Hour, which is a PlayStation VR game. I've heard good things about it. I believe, let's look into it. I think it's a multiplayer first-person shooter, right? Where you play as like a squad, and you go through different combat scenarios. There's no information on this page, so I don't know why they linked me to it. People were actually expecting Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy, which is an insane proposition. But whatever. Obviously, the Insane Trilogy is probably going to come in the coming months. I don't think that it's like a, oh, what the fuck are you talking about type thing. I just think that this early in the year, I don't know if they're going to put out something that big. And they've been putting out big things. This is a big thing. BioShock Collection still goes for like $30. Sims 4 is like a $20 game, and Firewall is a $20 game. How much do you play for PlayStation Plus a month? Like $12? That's a great deal. Last month was Uncharted. Awesome. And the Monster Energy racing game, it was okay. Really didn't enjoy it. But there you go. GreedyWaffles is most excited for Sims 4, as you all know. And Callus is excited for BioShock. And Keji says Sims 4, more like Sims War, World War 3. Am I right? Is there anything else that came out that I need to talk about really, really quickly? What's this? This kind of looks interesting. Ooh, there's a trailer for it. Perfect. This is brand new, hot, right off the presses, guys. Dragoon. What is Dragoon? This is the announcement trailer. It's about 1:39 long. Let's see what Dragoon is. Dragoon? Dragoon? Is there any sound? Do I have it muted?
Edward.
I have it muted.
Edward Charles.
Hold on.
Fjord, you're not going swimming.
Let's start over. Fail! You
Water's
stupid
cold.
noob.
It's a fjord. You're not going swimming.
You stupid noob!
You're such a wet blanket, teddy bear.
You know I don't like it when you call me...
Edward.
Teddy
Edward
bear?
Charles Harden. So, do you think we'll find your Betty in, what did you call this village?
Was that Norway? Norway's flag?
She's there.
How can you know for sure?
I just do. In her letter, she wrote about...
But that's months ago. She could have gone anywhere.
Betty's here. I know it. I feel it. Something drew her here.
Voice acting
Where is
leaves a little bit to be desired.
It's like a dead land. As though its soul has departed.
Her scarf. I know it anywhere. Lissy, there's someone outside.
Even though
It
he was
might
looking
be
at the
Betty.
picture, he's like, I do know that anywhere. Unless this picture wasn't in my face.
Edward, they murdered a child? What does that say?
God forgive me.
We will find her. Betty's fine. She's a tough cookie. Tougher than you, teddy bear.
I dreamed of Betty.
Looks like
She was in the
a
garden, and she
maybe
called
like
for
a
me.
like an Outlast type game. I mean, maybe not like that's that crazy, but it looks like February 21st is the release for it.
I'm not alone.
Is there any more information about it? Increasingly unreliable narrator in the game. Okay. The story-driven experience, so expect a lot of exploration and interaction through a realistic and dynamic dialogue system. There's also a weather system which changes the scenery as you progress. It's already available today on PC, but it will drop on the PS4 on the 21st of February. Huh. Yeah, it does take place in Norway. I was right. That 1920s Norway. An American protagonist, Edward Charles Hardin, travels to picturesque nation in search of his sister. So yeah, it kind of looks like maybe like a thriller type game, because there was like scenes of like a man hanging and stuff like that. So kind of interesting. Glad I watched that. Am I going to pick it up right away? No. How much is it going to be? I don't know. It doesn't say in the article. It's probably already available on Steam or whatever. Let's see what it says. Pre-order on Amazon. Let's see how much it is on Amazon. Just the original soundtrack is what it linked me to. Oh, big fail. Big F. All right, well, guys, that's it. That's it. We're done. That's all the news. That's all that we need to talk about. Once again, big thanks to GreedyWaffle for joining me for the football talk. If you haven't already, make sure you follow me on YouTube, Twitter, all that crap. If you want to, you can join the Discord, which is pretty nice as well. People who subscribe to the channel, like GreedyWaffle and Just Callus, get special access to a new room and interaction with me. Also, they get a special place in my heart as well. I appreciate everyone, and I hope you guys really enjoyed this episode of Ferret 64 with me, YemmytheFerret. What's coming up this week, Yemmy? Film Freaks on Friday, featuring the lovable and fuckable Callus, and we're going to be talking about Mission Impossible. And later this week, we're going to do another live stream tomorrow, which is going to be more Vampire. Hopefully we'll get through another chapter in that game so we don't have too much longer. And hopefully Saturday we can get close to finishing or finish. But I doubt we will because there's probably more boss fights ahead, and I hate those damn things in that game. And the next game I want to live stream is definitely going to be a retro game, okay? We're going to go retro. Xbox 360 and lower is what I kind of want to do. PS2, I have a lot of PS2 games I want to finish. There's one coming in the mail recently. Yeah, so if you guys want to check me out, you know, I'm everywhere. I got new things on YouTube constantly now, and of course Twitch, we're also live streaming. The schedule is down below if you want to check that out. I don't have Time Splitters yet, unfortunately. I do want to pick that up though. I got Star Wars Clone Wars coming in the mail, which is a pretty good game from the past, as GreedyWaffle knows because we played it together. All right, anything else? I don't think so. I think that's it. I think that's actually it. Once again, thank you to everyone who came by, stopped by. If you're watching this later on Saturday, Friday. If you're watching this on Friday, I appreciate you. If you're here for the clips, which come out on Sundays, I appreciate you as well. I do clips of the podcast to get the big talking points, the best parts of the podcast. Those come out on Sundays. So if you miss something or if you want to re-listen to something and it's one of those clips, there you go. And then, like I said, Friday, it's going to be like a dual upload. The Ferret 64 podcast and Film Freaks is going to come out. But I'm going to promote Film Freaks, of course, more. Because Ferret 64, like, who's going to watch the whole hour and 47 minutes of this again? Like, it's not going to happen. And also, the podcast is available right now on Anchor, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. So if you want to listen to it on those platforms, you can do that as well. Okie dokie. Anything else, Terminator Skull? Where's Sadakana? Nowhere near you. Once again, thank you to everyone who came. Chop the Dog and Keji Rain, thank you for the host. Chrono Dave, thank you for the bits. I appreciate you. Callus, thank you for joining the live stream. GreedyWaffle and Shinobi Nando, thank you for also joining as well. And Greedy, thanks for coming on. And anyone else I might have missed, or any lurkers I might miss, thank you so much as well. I am YemmytheFerret, and as you guys know, and as I say, I am YemmytheFerret, and I am out of here. Thank you once again. Goodbye.